It's time for dinner.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
From the creative mind of Scott Bertelson, after 4 decades of teaching our impressionable youth,
The dinner bell.
you are invited to enjoy conversational morsels for the mind at Mr. B's dinner party.
Yeah, dinner.
Hello, folks. It is time. Oh, my goodness. My guest is shaking in fear, as he should. And it's time for Mr. B's dinner party. Yay! Woohoo! Now, when you, my happy guest, when you think of a dinner party, what do you think about for the entree?
For the entree?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I like something a little exotic.
Exotic.
Yeah.
Lasagna?
Oh, a little bit more than that. I like spices and things that we don't normally get around here. I want something that I'm gonna.
Well, can you be specific, please? What are we talking about here if I'm going to serve this to you?
Okay, I like oh goodness, like maybe something from India. How does that sound? So
India.
like
Indiana?
a little further east than that. That's but no, it's something that's got some kick to it.
All right, so we can't talk about this long, my guest, but what would be the spices you would like to have in your entree?
Oh yeah, I'd like some curry.
Curry.
Yeah,
Yes.
you gotta have lots and lots of curry, and I'd like a garlic. I don't know if it technically counts as a spice, but I mean you can never go wrong with some garlic.
I agree.
There's a cumin and garam masala. That's an Indian.
Oh,
spice.
yes.
If you start with something like that, I mean you're not gonna go wrong.
Well, folks, at this dinner party today, we are going to have Indian food.
I love it.
Yes, because I know my guest today. I have been with him in an Indian restaurant many years ago. Do you remember that, Dan May? Oh, I'm a name dropper. It's Dan May.
Hi.
So, Dan May, I just thought for Mr. B's dinner party this week, where we have delectable tidbits, morsels of fun, that I always use the analogy of we're going to have our appetizer, and then we're going to have our salad, and then we're going to have our main course, and then, of course, dessert.
Oh, it's the best. That's the best. I can't wait.
But
I'm hungry
you won't,
already.
You won't get any dessert from me today. So anyway, everybody, Dan May is my guest today. Dan May lives in Forest City with his lovely wife and his lovely children. And Dan May is, what is the official title of what you do at the Boman Fine Arts Center?
Well, I'm the manager of the Boman Fine Arts Center.
Oh, it's got to be fancier than that.
No, I like it to be pretty plain.
Okay.
So, but director or manager of the Boman Fine Arts Center, I'll answer to anything. Really. Hey, you is usually what I get called.
Oh my God.
So
Anyway, I just thought that to give my listening audience, however small or large that is, which I have no idea, is the fact that you don't have to listen to me warble on about certain things, that I would like people to know about you, because you're the unsung hero of the Boman Fine Arts Center, which we are so lucky to have in this community, Dan May.
we really are.
It is a gift from the Indian cuisine god.
Absolutely served up with a little side dish of rice and maybe some
Is
mango.
that white
ice
rice?
cream.
White rice?
Basmati rice. It's
Oh, yes,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had that. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. We're so lucky to have that facility.
How long have you been in that position?
Just a little over 4 years. I know. I started right before COVID hit, which is let me tell you, it's a really great time to start a new career.
I
in the
think I know where
performing
this
arts.
is going.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
why was it such a great time?
Well, we had about when I started, I think I had about 5 months before everything shut down, and we couldn't have done this, Mr. B.
No, I know.
Yeah.
know.
Just terrible.
Yes. So during that time of COVID,
Yeah.
did you go into the building or did you stay away from the building? Could you go into the building?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So at that point in time,
No.
so there were very few places in the area that people could get together safely, right, and distance properly. So there was a really big shift in what we did there. So we were having classes, so people could be socially distanced. Big thing was like with Waldorf music, the choir could go in there and sing because they could be far enough apart from each other in order to do that.
Oh, yes.
So it had some really unique challenges. So we created spaces where people could have their voice lessons, where the student could be in one room and the instructor could be on the other side of a glass window, and everybody could hear each other, and the piano player could be in another room. It was I don't want to say it was fun, but it was the challenge around it was kind
that's an understatement.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun.
Yeah, no, we'll just leave that right there. So, but no, that was the fun of doing that. So,
okay. So then, since we're picking it up at that point of the story, when was the first production then done?
Oh my
post-COVID, if there is such a thing as post-COVID.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to remember which one that was.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it was sort of hit and miss, right? I'm trying to remember if it was one of the High School Musical productions, or if it was just as simple as like a choir concert that happened in there. But it was such a breath of fresh air. Like we'd gone through a couple of years of not being able to enjoy the arts at all, or listen to somebody sing, or play their instrument, or whatever, or act up on stage. So there was that moment, like when those doors opened up again, that there was so much joy. People, I don't know, they feasted, to use the dinner party analogy.
Thank
there.
You, Dan.
Yeah, you betcha.
Let's keep that consistent throughout the show.
I'll do my best. But no, it was so cool because just like this life that we'd been missing.
We had
back. Yeah.
Famine,
complete feast
famine.
and famine.
Yes,
we were in famine at that point.
Yes. So one of the first theatrical productions, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, that was staged was your production of Macbeth. Is that correct?
Oh my goodness, yeah, that sure was. That was the first one when Brick Street got back up and running again. Yes. And that's where we didn't even. I was lucky enough to direct that show and to go through that process, but we're still trying to figure out how do we do this safely, because we have people from all different levels of health and with concerns of their own and within their families and all that. And that was, I hope we never have to do that again. I know that we did a production wearing masks. We bought like clear masks for people to wear. We didn't require it with the audience, but we could keep the actors far enough away from the audience that they were safe, which is always a concern. Yes. You never know how your audience is going to react.
For sure.
Yeah. So,
what kind of mask? They were very stylistically done, I thought.
Yeah, they were
special order masks.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They were clear, so
that's right.
We got clear masks so that you could still see the actors' mouth and their faces, and because that's such an important part of what we do as actors. We are communicate with our face and being able to convey that. And plus, like, who wants to watch somebody walk around in a mask for 2 hours? They can't see anything. So
not fun
at all. Nope. But again, I mean, we did that. I think it was a special kind of. Can I say HE double hockey sticks on your podcast?
You can say anything on a podcast.
Really, it's just.
But I'm not giving you license.
Okay, I'll try and keep it together here. But I think it was a special kind of hell for our actors to have to act with a thing on their face like that for 2 hours. But
do you think your cast saw more of a hindrance or a help?
I think it was mixed, right?
Sure. Sure, of course.
I think that there were certain members of the cast that really appreciated that we did that. And it's the big thing in that whole mess is that you had to be conscious of where other people were at. Because you didn't know what their concerns were going home. it's a big ask when you're dealing with an actor or any member of the production to say, let's put ourselves back out there and be amongst the very first to do it.
Yes.
And that's, we don't know how it's going to work out.
Yes.
But luckily we made it through that entire production without anybody coming down with COVID.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Okay. So, all right, let's go back. Dan. Let's go back in the annals of time and let's find out how you became the manager, because you were not the first manager. Right?
No.
You come from a long lineage, a
Well,
long line.
two. There's been two of us.
Oh, two.
And I will,
okay, well,
I will,
short.
No, so
who was the first one?
the first one was the wonderful and talented Linnea Fredrickson Smith.
That's right.
Yeah. She from the day that facility opened up, threw its doors wide open and had the first production in there. That was Linnea, and she guided it off the ground. She gave it its wings to take flight. So she delivered the entree of
Dan.
the Boman Fine Arts Center to the awaiting public.
Oh, you are warming the cockles of my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long was she the manager?
She was there for, I think, just over a year.
Okay, and then you stepped in.
I did.
Sure there wasn't somebody else in between?
No, I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that it was it was just
I said it was a long lineage here. Now, come on.
It really I could I mean there might be some theater ghosts there
okay.
that maybe they were stepping into the interim.
Which we divert, because I do that all the time. Is the Boman inhabited by ghosts?
You know, I
want the skinny.
Absolutely. So I get that question probably more than any other question. And
Not the first?
You're not the first. I'm so sorry. I mean, like people are curious about the lights in the dressing room and the mirrors in there, and then they ask me about ghosts. Okay. Those are the top two right
all
there.
Right.
And ghosts are really number one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be like straight honest with you here.
I would like you to be.
I do not believe that there's any ghosts inhabiting the Boman yet.
I see.
Yeah.
It's too youthful yet?
It's too new.
Young?
I don't know. Usually like when we talk about like ghosts in a theater, it's got to be somebody that had a tragic demise within the space.
Yes.
And it hasn't happened yet.
So we're hoping for that.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But that so far that hasn't happened.
Okay.
But that is not to say that the Boman doesn't scare people. I get that all the time. Like if there are students, especially working in the space late at night or whatever, the Boman makes a lot of noise as it cools down or warms up or the wind's blowing outside, and there'll be bangs and creaks and whatnot. It can be a little disconcerting to the uninitiated.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You mean the ignorant?
I wasn't going to say that. I have that happen all the time.
I just put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just put it out there. So, okay. Well, that's refreshing to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do hope that does happen, though.
That somebody dies there? Are you volunteering?
No. Well,
no.
I already died 3 years ago.
Well, you look remarkable.
Well, it's a zombie in its makeup.
Wow.
So,
wow. It's
what it is.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
So, all right. So Dan May, you took this position. I would like you to tell my lovely podcast audience what all of your duties are.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Well,
this is a huge building.
It's
Dan
a
May.
huge building, and you would think with a title as illustrious as manager or director that, I mean, how would you even go to start? I will say that I handle everything from that phone call that a nervous child has thrown up, in the mezzanine level, and we need some help cleaning that up. So I'll take that as well, all the way through getting to work really closely with some amazing artists as they come to perform on the stage, and everything in between that. It is. If variety is the spice of life,
I've heard that.
Yes, I lead a very spicy life. So,
like your Indian food.
Like my Indian food. And as we know, that's what I like. I like the spice.
Yes.
No, I mean it's really great because there's no 2 days that are different. I get to work closely with the students that come through there, which is amazing. As you well know, working with students is both wonderful and it's a challenge, and it keeps you on your toes every day.
Yes.
And getting to work with people to create beautiful things is I don't even know how to describe it. It is just so wonderful. It is so wonderful.
So this really feeds your creative part of your
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get to collaborate with people like you, and
I don't do anything there, Dan.
Well, yet, but people that come in and they'll come to me and say, "Hey, I would like to do X, Y, and Z, and can we make that happen?" And most of the time, I'll say yes, but being able to bring their visions to life and their goals that's a pretty big thing for me. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are highly, highly creative.
Yeah.
Damn mate. There you go. And folks, I was not paid to say that.
Not yet, anyway.
So I'm guessing, Dan, that a typical day, whatever a typical day is, which is probably very atypical, you don't have a certain punch in time and a punch out time. And do you make your own hours, Dan? Give us the skinny on that.
Do I make my own hours? Largely. So I am the sole person that is in that position. So the schedule is bizarre.
You have to be highly, highly, highly flexible.
Yep. So there are days like this weekend, Scott, is Easter weekend, and I will have one of the local churches will be having their Easter service in that space, and I have to be available for if they run into problems, and that's fine, that's great. But I always joke. So I hope they're not listening. I hope they are listening, but I hope they're not listening. But but last year when they were in the space, right?
Yeah.
They were having some technical difficulties.
Yes.
Well, I'm 3 hours away at Easter sunrise service at the church that my parents go to.
Yes.
And I'm about ready to go up and I'm going to read a piece because that's what you do at my parents' church is Easter sunrise service. And I get a text message and I look down and they're like, we need some help. And so I said, just give me 2 seconds. So I literally got up, I helped them. I read my piece, and then instead of walking back to my pew, I headed off the other direction, stepped outside, and walked them through how to solve the issue that they had. And
that is amazing.
Well,
this would be a TV show.
Well, it's fun. It's fun
on Netflix.
So like luckily, so as far as like the hours that I have there. Yes. I will work anywhere from like 7 a.m. Eastern morning to midnight 1 a.m. And luckily, my boss at Waldorf understands that. So I have some flexibility in the hours that I do because there'll be weeks that you'll work 60, 70 hours, and then there'll be weeks where it's pretty quiet. So. But yeah, that's as far as like what my schedule is. It's a yo-yo of that kind of stuff. It can be challenging to balance all of that, but you just have to be available.
Wow. That's a huge amount of flexibility. So, if I'm understanding you correctly, Dan, for the high school, elementary, and middle school, when they do concerts there, and virtually the three buildings do almost everything there for performance,
Yeah.
which I understand.
Yep.
You have to be at those events?
No.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood that. Okay.
No. Now, I have a pretty great relationship with that crew. I'm very thankful that I have those people to work with. So if they need me to be there to help do some of the tech stuff, I'm happy to be there. But luckily, they have an expert in Eric Guth that he helps run their audio, which is 90% of what they need. So I'll work with them to get set up for what they need, and any kind of special stuff. Quite often, like Miss Andrews will. She's very creative, and she'll want to do some interesting thing with projections or video or whatnot. And especially like with the spotlight concerts, I get to work pretty closely with her to develop that stuff. So a lot of my work with them is before the event, and then they handle the production of it. So,
wow. So, say for example, all right. So that somewhat answers my question about your high school involvement. Say for the spring play or the fall musical, is that the same? You pre-plan or are you there the actual night of the productions? Not needed? Yes? No?
So that's a fun question too.
Sure.
So
I always like fun questions.
You do, and you're so good at them.
And Indian food.
Oh yeah. It's just like it's like a fine wine, really, that you deliver. The so this year, last fall, I had a couple of interns that were working with me. One of them was a lighting intern.
Okay. And
we got to work on some designs for the shows that were coming through. I believe that I'm trying to remember how that all went down. I ended up doing the lighting design for the fall musical for the high school. So I worked with Mr. Spargrove and Miss Andrews on that. And then I got to work closely with the interns and the students that I had at that point in time to teach them that process. Because like a lot of what we do is, we go to school for it, but it's a lot of like hands-on. It's very much that old tradition. You're gonna learn by doing it. You gotta be physically involved with the stuff that you're learning. And so having that opportunity to work with Mr. Spargrove and Miss Andrews to do their lights and do some of their tech, translates into opportunities for the students too.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. That's one of the best parts about the facility that we have there.
Yes.
So.
Wow. Okay. So tell me what your then involvement might be with the Brick Street production.
Oh, goodness.
I suppose that depends on the production.
It sure does.
How much involvement.
Yeah. So again, that's something that we're so lucky to have here. Our local theater, Brick Street Theater, community theater, provides so many outlets from I've been fortunate to direct there. I've done set designs and lighting designs. I've done some audio work with them as well. And for the majority of the shows since we booted back up in 2015, somewhere around in there, 16. I don't remember what the exact year was, but
I don't even know what happened yesterday.
I don't, right? And I have been I've been lucky enough to work on the majority of the shows that we've brought to life, and that's pretty great. So that's a whole different type of fun and creative thing to do, because then it's bringing your own visions to life, or you're or working with somebody that's got a clear goal. Again, Linnea Fredrickson Smith. I seem to be following her around, not in sort of an icky stalker way, but and other directors there that have shared their vision and brought beautiful things to the stage.
Yes.
We're so lucky.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I mean, that's
so lucky.
so, and then to have a community, an audience that actually wants to come out and support and watch these things, and an actor base and a designer base that can. It's really kind of rare to have that.
Yes, it is.
So
Dan, is it fair to ask you about the history of the building of this structure? How did this all come about?
Oh my goodness! So
as much as you know.
Yeah. So the Boman is a really unique structure in its and how it came to fruition. So it's what they like to call a public and private partnership.
Okay.
So what that means is we had public entities like the City of Forest City and the Forest City Community School District, those are governmental agencies that's their half of it. At that point in time, Waldorf is sort of that private partnership side of things there too, and we cannot overstate the value of the namesake of the building, the Boman Fine Arts Center, the Boman family,
right.
The Hanson family,
right.
So those entities came together, as well as, oh my goodness, there's in the facility itself, there's these gigantic wall displays that the names of individual donors and business donors, 3M, Winnebago Industries, it's really impressive that came together to build this because they recognized a need. Before this, it was the only. I don't want to say the only, but the best performance center that we had was at the high school.
Yes,
right?
That's very true.
And we were fortunate to have that. Yes. But it was definitely showing its age.
Oh,
cinder block building and with questionable electrics, and it was a great facility for what it was. And how many shows did you do there? I mean,
33.
Yeah, and it certainly served the community.
Oh, absolutely. But it was time.
It was time, and so they recognized that, and there was they worked together to create this out of this empty plot of land. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a 629 seat space that's state of the art.
May I ask you, how was it decided, if you know, how large to make the house?
That's a good question. I don't know because I wasn't involved in that planning stage. I know that at some point you have the balance between costs and what you can do there. Yes. So that's, I'm sure, played a pretty big role in it. It is proven to be more than adequate, more than sufficient for everything that's come through there.
Good. Great.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So is that the same case then when Waldorf does their concerts, vocal concerts, band concerts in there? You don't really have to be there for those events then?
For Waldorf stuff, I generally tend to be there because they don't have. I am that guy in house.
Okay.
So
I see.
Yeah. Sure. So for just about anything that Waldorf does there, because I'm technically an employee of Waldorf.
I understand. Okay. I get it.
And then I kind of Sherpa those things through.
Yeah.
So.
Now I'm guessing that you have quite a beautiful, spacious office.
Oh, I'm just like Harry Potter. My office is found underneath the steps, but but it is
Oh, my
lovely.
God.
It is
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah.
And it must be interesting to be in there when it's so quiet.
hmm Oh, I love it.
I
I
see.
do.
Mhm.
I do. I know that's not. I'm not being silly. It's
No.
um, we my wife and I joke about this a lot because I'm the type of person that I don't mind being alone. And in fact, I really cherish that. Right, that ability to do that, and so in some respects, this job is absolutely wonderful. It's perfect for me.
Yes.
So when I do get to be around people, it's about 25% of the town will come in and invade.
Yes.
In a good way. But so I get a lot of human interaction like all at once, and then I can retreat back to my space underneath the steps.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Your own little nook,
Yes.
so to speak. Now, Dan, if people want to have wedding receptions and special events or bingo night or whatever,
Yeah.
it's all available. That space is available for rent.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely,
So
it
they
is.
would come to you then.
Yep.
Okay.
Usually the best way to go about doing that is just go to the website and there's a little form to fill in
I see.
and it fires it off to me. But
I see.
that's something that we keep seeing more and more of that. We host high school graduation parties.
Yes.
There's a number of organizations that are using the facility for their own fundraisers, which is great. I love to be able to support
Yes.
organizations do that.
Yes.
I've had a wedding there, which was really a lot of fun. And there's really no limit to what the space can do.
Right.
We have the tech to handle just about anything. It's wonderful.
Mhm.
So,
Oh my gosh. So how is it decided what to charge for certain events? How does that work?
as far as ticket prices go,
Well,
or
I'm not making myself clear. I apologize. Say a graduation party.
Yeah.
Let's come in there. Is there a standard fee for a graduation party different from a fundraiser?
absolutely, yep.
And how is
So-
that determined?
So I always run
Is it
for
just a random number you come
yes.
up with?
It's however I'm feeling that day. So no.
Yeah. Oh,
So
you heard it, folks.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, no. So we have standard fees based on the how much of the space you're wanting to use. So I have it split out. So if you want to use the main auditorium, that's because that's where all the tech stuff is,
Yeah.
and the higher priced items that we have are in that facility.
Yes.
But you can also rent out the mezzanine level, which is where the dining and all that is, and that gets used all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you right off the top of my head what the prices are, but that's I also work with so if you're a nonprofit group, we cut the fees that we charge in half.
Oh.
So to make it less of a burden. That's important to me that I know this is going to sound probably corny, but the arts can be used for something good, right? And that's just one way that we do that. We also have some pretty easy ways for people to get in to be able to use the space for performances. It doesn't. I have different pricing structures based on what their comfort level is. So it doesn't have to be a giant outlay of cash. We can do things as simple as like splitting ticket sales or whatnot like that. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Wow. So you're really virtually saying you're willing to work with people.
yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. So we try to say no as little as possible,
Yes.
and that's because we want to encourage creativity.
Oh,
opportunity.
absolutely. Yes. And that's
So-
a great place for creativity.
Absolutely.
So to be exhibited. So on an average month, how often would you say the facility, is this a fair question, is being used in the evening or during the day?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It really depends on the
Yes.
the time of year. So,
Sure.
and I can tell you that that right now, because I was just looking at it. The months of March, April, and May tend to be the busiest.
Okay.
I know that in April, traditionally there is, I think there are a maximum of 2 days that there is not something happening. I think there's a Sunday that something's not happening, and then there's a random Wednesday somewhere towards the end of the month that nothing is happening in there. But it's just like that. So it's to go back. You asked me like what do I do? There are a lot of times like during phases like this, it's keeping the wheels on the building. So like when things go wrong, and they do go wrong all the time, to make sure that they it's not catastrophic.
Yes.
So just anywhere literally from the child that throws up in the mezzanine to the light board maybe not acting the way that they want it to run. And it's to help people get through things that they're not comfortable with.
Yes.
So it's fun too.
So you're a huge support system.
I don't know if I'm a huge support system, but I that is definitely a part of what I do. So,
which reminds me, I was going to ask you, but now I forgot what the question was.
oh
no! When you get to be my age, Dan, you have a thought, and then it just
16
goes.
Is that?
It just goes somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, Troy, you're going to have to edit this part out. Let's just pause here for a moment until I get my thought. There was something about... Oh. All right, I'm back, Troy. So, Forest City High School, whatever they perform there, they are not charged.
Oh, that's correct. Absolutely.
That's also the case for Waldorf.
Right.
Okay.
So the entities that went in the partnership, have free use of the space.
Yes.
So, which is a pretty big blanket, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's the way it should be, because they, Lord knows, they invested heavily in this building.
Yes. So another question. So say the Forest City High School musical performs the second weekend of November. Is it safe to ask the question about how much actual stage time in the Boman do they get prior to opening night?
Yeah. So that's a fair question.
I thought it was.
So
I'm very fair.
You are. Yeah. You are a very...
And I love Indian food.
Yeah, I can tell. You're a spicy guy.
You heard it here.
It is true. It is true. I'm just thankful that there's a little bit of a distance between
everybody says that.
Yeah. I get that. So it's your questions are very timely, and I don't know if you're stalking me or
It's always been my goal.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I've always dreamt of having my own stalker.
That's what I do in my spare time.
Yeah. So we are just in the process right now of setting our schedule, and as far as like stage time or prep time, that's so like the plays, like a play production is going to have the most intensive rehearsal process, right? So the way that we manage that, because the school district has the most strict calendar of any of the entities that go in there. They're locked into the sports district or the competitions that they have. So their calendar revolves around that, and that is something that is set between the schools within the conference.
Yes,
and then they have certain dates that they have to mandated by the state and all that. Everything just has to line up. So when we go to schedule the schedule for the Boman, they get first pick. because
I
they
see.
have no flexibility whatsoever. And so we just, and that meeting just happened here within the last 48 hours. So we go through and we look at the schedule that the Boman has, and I get all of their events that they need in there. And then it becomes a free for all after that.
I'm sure.
So, and we open it up to the other entities, the Waldorf and the city, and they get their dates in, and general public are also starting to filter in with their stuff right now. We'll have like the graduation parties that are happening there. The first few people that did it, I think people were like, "Oh my goodness, we didn't even realize this was an option," and I'm getting them booked earlier and earlier.
Oh, I bet you are.
Yeah, I've already had a few for 2025, right? And that's pretty. It's because I know it's a thing.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about making sure that I have it reserved for when my son graduates. He's 13. So just so you know, whatever year that is, I've already got that date locked away. So,
so, for example, then, Dan, for the Forest City High School spring play, then, whatever show they're doing, whatever technical involvement is needed, do they get the stage for a week?
Oh, no. No. So they'll come to me and give me the rehearsal schedule and say, when can I get in? So,
okay.
And it's usually, it's pretty accommodating. It gets a little hairy in the spring because both Waldorf and the Forest City Spring Play are looking to use that space.
Yes, back-to-back weekends usually.
Yeah, and it's really tight. The Waldorf musical. So the spring play will get done. Their last performance is on a Saturday.
Yes,
and then Waldorf is wanting to load in their production Sunday morning.
Yes.
And their first performance for the public is on Wednesday.
Yes.
So they have, what is that? They have 2.5 days, 3 days to get their set in, get it built back up to where it needs to be, to hang the lights, to focus the lights, to get all the audio going, and boom, they've got an audience. And luckily, like Marla has been really great to work with on that because they have their own space, obviously, on campus that they do the majority of the rehearsals in.
Yes.
And that allows Forest City Community School District to use the Boman for the majority of the rehearsals.
Yes.
So their students are able to exist in that space, get used to it, and they can run their tech because it's harder on the high school level.
Yes.
To do that because you can't rely on your students as much.
No.
To do that. That's nothing against the students. It's just they don't have the knowledge at that point in their life.
Correct.
So, and I mean, we have some pretty strict rules on like being able to go up into the catwalks. You have to be 18 years of age or older, and there's not a whole lot of those people available that have an interest to go up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. Okay. Wow, Dan, I tell you, do you come out with a monthly calendar then, or is it like you make a year calendar, or
I have
how does that work?
I have a running calendar. I have a year long.
Wow.
And so I'm working at least a year out. I will say a year out. And because it revolves around the school, I won't be pushing into the fall of 2025 until the spring of 2025.
Okay.
So when we hit the end of March, then the floodgates open.
Yes.
Up until I will schedule out to August of 2025 at this point. So
is it fair to say, Dan, that in your estimation that there are very few communities of this size that would have a facility like this?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
It is. I can't think of very many around here. I know that Algona and Osage both have performing arts centers.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
But No, these types of facilities are few and far between, and it allows us to do some pretty great things. Just the other day, this week, we had Opera Iowa up here. They have a children's theater program called Sid the Serpent That Sings. It is absolutely wonderful. It was really great. And so we were able, we actually invited Buffalo Center Community Schools to come down here. And so we had 275-ish students in there. And to be able to bring something like that's an experience that's kind of rare in our little rural area.
Absolutely.
And have those kids laughing and enjoying themselves, and then taking the time to have a question and answer session with these amazingly talented performers. It brings a lot of this really close to people. Of course. And it's awesome. It's awesome.
So, Dan, with all of this information you've given us about your position, tell us about how you got involved with theater.
Oh my goodness!
When did the tech bug bite you, or the acting bug, and where did you do your undergraduate work at, and what experience had you had prior to coming to being the manager of the Boman Center?
Sure.
Is that quite a few questions there?
That's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot, but
I'll eat my Indian food while you're.
Oh, thank you.
That.
Thank you. Because my stomach is growling. It looks delicious. I don't know how
don't
you
touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. Well, I've just. Thank you. So, I got forced into doing theater when I was in middle school. Forced. Yeah, I had a very good friend that shoved me into it because he said it was going to be fun, and oddly, it was a lot of fun. And I don't even remember. The show was a middle school theater, whatever. It was really funny, and I will always remember the director, the poor teacher, who I'm sure we made her life a living hell. But we didn't know our lines, and she's off stage like whispering them to us, and it's just. It's a miracle that I mean that was the very first thing I ever did, and you catch the bug and you start doing like speech and drama and musicals and in school. I was lucky enough like tech wise I just acted on stage, but I went to college at Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa, and I was really lucky to have some amazing professors there. The head of the department is still there from when I was Jennifer Estrella. Goodness. Yeah, and she is a powerhouse of theater. She knows so much. And there was an absolutely genius technical theater gentleman there by the name of Steve McLean. And that's the point where I really got to have my hands on tech for the first time, and get a much broader understanding that the same creativity that we have on the stage to bring a character to life, they also have, and it goes into like the tech side of things too. So I'm very thankful for the experience I had at Simpson, because it was well rounded. And with brilliant professors. So getting out of that and going to went to Chicago after that, and what that education prepared me for was I didn't have to bank entirely on being able to get a role as an actor. It's much easier to get a role as a designer, as the other set our lighting design, because everybody wants to act. There's 100 actors, and then there's one person that's wants to actually get their hands dirty and do the practicality of this thing. And so I learned that pretty quickly, that you could work as much as you wanted to in a big urban area like Chicago is, by just putting yourself out there as a designer. And I designed a lot of shows, and that leads to other things. So I was able to direct and to act and to design almost continuously while I was out there.
Oh, how long were you in Chicago?
I don't know, 7 years, 7 years, somewhere around there. Right up until the point that the big the economic meltdown happened in Chicago, in the United States at that point in time, and that's what actually ended up. That's how we ended up here.
Yeah,
because. My wife was going to school actually at Waldorf at that point in time to get an education degree, and which was something that they had just opened up at that point in time. And in Chicago at that point in time, it was the end of the world. Really, my day job was in marketing, and that when the economics just took a nosedive, marketing is usually the first thing that gets cut. So our department, our office went from 80 some people to 20 some.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's like, gosh. So, and it becomes an economic impossibility to live like that. So, yep. So that's how we ended up here. But with a lot of great experiences under our belt. And, I mean, one of the greatest experiences that I've had in my creative life was working with you. And
will you stop it?
Well, I truly mean that.
Oh my God. Do you think I'm going to sit here and not cry when you say things like that?
I've tried to make you cry before. It's usually it's been unsuccessful.
Oh my gosh! Oh, yeah. Damn me!
But we made some beautiful things over the years. It really did, and I gotta tell you, because for me, I'm not wanting to like pour the whatever it is, the salt or the whatever it is, but the. But no, I mean, like for going from a place where I had an outlet to do that stuff to very rural, very removed from that life. It was, you have no idea how much it meant to me being able to have that outlet. This probably isn't the right forum to say that, but it was very much a lifeline, Scott, and being able to work with you and to work with, I like to every once in a while just like think about how many students that we got to work with. A lot, many hundreds of students.
Yes, and all those great bus rides.
Oh my God, those bus rides were I still have kinks in my back. We'll never come out from those bus rides. But man, what fun! Folks, if you're out there listening, I got to tell you, there's a special thing that happens when you roll up in a bus to a McDonald's. And the look of horror on the poor people's faces,
especially if we didn't call it in advance.
Absolutely, and we never did. We never called advanced.
That's too organized.
Yeah. That's okay. It's just it's just so good. And just imagine you spent at that point probably 700 hours in that single day. Yeah. And then you're still 2 hours from home, and then you eat this food, I guess.
And you're being very generous.
Yes,
there.
Yeah.
And then it's usually 20 below zero.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many wonderful memories. There's a number of I don't want to say that I kissed the ground when I got off the bus a few times, but I think that did happen.
completely understand. I have great fondness for all of that, Dan, but I don't want to go back.
No, I'm really with you. I'm really with you. There was this one time where we had to go to Allstate with a very small group of students.
Yes.
We had 2 buses, and I remember 2 buses. Was it 2? Not buses, but they were
Suburbans.
Suburbans. And I remember, like, one of the vehicles, the windshield wipers didn't work. It was about 70 miles of ice and sleet, and it was. That's good times. That's good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. So
Well, anyway, I'm so glad that we had that opportunity to work
I am too.
together. And I also had the wonderful opportunity to work with your wonderful wife, Elizabeth, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I was so blessed to have such great cohorts in the speech department.
We can't forget. I mean, there's a whole laundry list.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
The wonderful,
Absolutely.
talented Julie Keeley.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I would do cartwheels for her. The last time I did a cartwheel was in first grade. So, she was amazing. And Ian Bartelt.
Ian Bartelt.
Whatever happened to him? Where's he at?
He's becoming a lawyer right now.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. But Julie Keeley was amazing. Yes. So anyway, but we divert a little bit. But that was a good diversion.
That was a good diversion.
Was it good?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I like that.
But thank you for that. I greatly appreciate that, Dan. And
It's from
you always have a place in my heart. You know that.
It's heartburn. Right?
I always enjoyed those early morning practices where you would come running in. It's like, I'm ready. I got 10 minutes.
Yes. Yep.
I got to go to work. Okay. Where's my person? Not here. Okay, well.
Yep. I guess I'm going to work. So,
Dan, thank you today for being my guest on Mr. B's dinner party. And it was a delectable meal. Just absolutely scrumptious.
I'm pretty full. I'm pretty full. I'm full of it.
Oh, folks, you cannot imagine how witty this person is. Oh, how many times I have laughed until I've almost passed out being around you. Anyway, so now we know here in the community about some of the workings of this fine arts center that we are so lucky to have, that we should never, ever take for granted.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree with that.
And I do hope that there'll be many, many more years that you are at the helm for this.
I have no intentions of going anywhere. I can't imagine a more exciting and vibrant place to work.
Okay, so Dan, you to me encompass. You are such a Renaissance man because you act, you direct, you do the technical. That's amazing. You are the whole package. Yes.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Could you Could you tell Elizabeth that I need all?
Oh,
the PR
I have many times.
Good, thank you.
Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't seem to sink in.
And just to make it clear, I am paying him to say that. So.
And in my final moments here,
Yes.
Tell us about your lovely family and what they, how kind they are to let you do what you do for work.
Oh.
Tell us about your lovely wife.
My lovely wife, Elizabeth. She is an English teacher at Garner Hayfield Ventura High School. And goodness, I can't begin to tell you how many years she's been down there now. And she probably wouldn't want me to tell you how many years she's been down there. But no, she handles she does English and drama and speech and so much more. Just like every educator that's out there are overworked, underappreciated, and I am so proud of her every day.
Absolutely.
Because it's a hard path, but it's one that they do out of love and joy. I can't imagine a job that like that people would do just for for fun, but somehow she does it. And I have two wonderful children, Noah and Amara, a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. I know, I have a teenager now, and they are they keep our lives just so busy.
Yeah.
So, and they're so creative, and
they've been highly involved in Brick Street Productions.
they have.
And I can see many aspiring moments in the high school.
I hope so.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's I'm going to say they get all their talent and all the good stuff from their mother, and they get the snarkiness from me. So, it's a good mix. It's a good mix. But no, they are, I can't imagine life without them.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's good stuff.
Oh, so not only do you have a great dream job, Dan, but you get to go home to the dream family.
You bet.
The perfect sitcom family.
Absolutely. we're like the Huxtables, like all of that, just all rolled into.
What about
into
the
one.
Connors, like
The
Roseanne Connor?
Yeah, there's definitely that's where I come in. I often fancied myself a Roseanne. No, there's a
Let that one go.
yeah, there's a significant amount of laughter.
Yes.
and that's the way we like it. So
Well, Dan, thank you for bellying up to the table today, and thank you for all that information. And I wish you the most joyous future
thank you.
in doing this beautiful job of maintaining this wonderful structure.
So which one of us is getting the check for the meal today?
Oh, I'm going to send that to Waldorf.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's good. Thank you for that.
I'm going to go right to Bob Alsop.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to march that bill right to his front office.
Just right there past Cindy and
Yes.
slap it down on the desk. Yeah.
That's just kind of the relationship we have.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Well, thank you. I
Yeah,
will.
you're welcome.
I'll be cleaning out my desk then.
It was nice knowing you,
It
Dan.
really was. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So there you have it, my folks, my friends, my podcast family. We will be back at a future time with future guests and more from the inner workings of the mind, I use that term loosely, of Scott Bertelsen. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Mr. B's Dinner Party is hosted by Scott Bertelsen, edited and produced by Troy Thompson, recorded and distributed at Sunnyside Farm Studios. Music is provided by Soundstripe and platformed by Buzzsprout. Like our page on Facebook, subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends. Listen and enjoy every other Wednesday, Conversational Morsels for the Mind on Mr. B's Dinner Party.